Do you know why the Titanic ship was built? The Titanic was built as part of a competitive race to create the most luxurious and technologically advanced ocean liners of the early 20th century. The ship was designed and constructed by the White Star Line, one of the major British shipping companies at the time, to compete with rival companies like Cunard Line, which had already launched fast and prestigious ships like the Lusitania and Mauretania. Here are the key reasons why the Titanic was made. Luxury and prestige. The Titanic was designed to be the most luxurious ship in the world, catering to wealthy passengers who demanded comfort and opulence during their transatlantic voyages. The ship featured lavish interiors, including grand staircases, first-class dining rooms, swimming pools, and elegant cabins. Technological showcase. The Titanic was intended to demonstrate the latest advancements in shipbuilding and maritime technology. It was equipped with advanced safety features for its time, such as watertight compartments and remotely activated watertight doors, which were thought to make it practically unsinkable. Capacity for transatlantic travel. As transatlantic travel between Europe and America grew in importance for both business and immigration, there was a need for large ships that could carry hundreds of passengers. The Titanic was capable of carrying more than 2,200 passengers and crew. Economic motives. The White Star Line aimed to dominate the highly profitable transatlantic passenger market. By building massive, luxurious ships like the Titanic, the company hoped to attract wealthy travelers and increase its earnings. Competition with Cunard Line. At the time, Cunard Line's Lusitania and Mauretania were known for their speed. White Star Line focused on size, luxury, and comfort instead of speed, positioning the Titanic and its sister ships, Olympic and Britannic, as symbols of size and grandeur. Ultimately, the Titanic was built to be the largest, most luxurious ocean liner of its era, designed to cater to the upper class, while also transporting large numbers of immigrants and middle-class passengers across the Atlantic. Here are some fascinating facts about the Titanic, from its construction to the aftermath of its sinking. At the time of its completion in 1912, the Titanic was the largest ship ever built, measuring 882 feet 9 inches, or 269 meters, in length and weighing over 46,000 tons. It was a marvel of modern engineering. The Titanic was widely believed to be practically unsinkable due to its 16 watertight compartments. The ship could theoretically stay afloat if up to 4 of these compartments were flooded, leading to the belief that nothing could sink it. This belief was tragically proven wrong when 5 compartments were breached by the iceberg. The Titanic set sail on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England, on April 10, 1912. Bound for New York City. Tragically, it sank just 4 days into the journey on April 15, 1912, after hitting an iceberg in the North Atlantic. The Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, which was not enough for the 2,224 passengers and crew on board. Although this met legal requirements at the time, the lifeboats could only accommodate about 1,178 people, less than half of those on board. The Titanic was divided into 3 main classes: first class, second class, and third class. The wealthiest passengers, including business magnates and aristocrats, stayed in first class luxury, while many immigrants traveling to America for a better life were in the third class. There were stark differences in the quality of accommodations and safety between these classes. The wealthiest person aboard the Titanic was John Jacob Astor IV, a real estate magnate and millionaire who had a fortune equivalent to $2.3 billion today. Sadly, he was among those who perished in the disaster. There were many acts of heroism as the ship went down. For example, the Titanic's orchestra, led by Wallace Hartley, continued to play music to calm passengers as the ship sank. All members of the band perished, but their bravery is remembered. Margaret Molly Brown was a first-class passenger who became famous for her efforts to help others board lifeboats and for taking command of lifeboat number 6 when the crew hesitated. She earned the nickname the Unsinkable Molly Brown for her courage and determination. The Titanic received multiple iceberg warnings during its voyage, but continued to sail at nearly full speed. Some reports suggest the ship was trying to set a speed record for the crossing. During the final moments, as the ship's stern rose high out of the water, the immense strain caused the Titanic to break in half. Both sections of the ship sank separately to the ocean floor. The Titanic's wreck was discovered by Dr. Robert Ballard in 1985, more than 70 years after it sank, lying about 12,500 feet or 3,800 meters below the surface of the North Atlantic. Many famous passengers were on board, including Benjamin Guggenheim, who famously dressed in his finest evening wear as the ship went down, saying, "We've dressed up in our best and are prepared to go down like gentlemen." After the Titanic disaster, several maritime laws were changed, including requirements for enough lifeboats for all passengers, lifeboat drills, and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor iceberg risks in the North Atlantic. A young boy, approximately 2 years old, who perished in the disaster, was one of the few bodies recovered, but remained unidentified for years. He was eventually identified as Sidney Leslie Goodwin from a third-class passenger family. There are myths and legends about the Titanic being cursed, partly due to the large number of wealthy passengers who died. One story suggests that a cursed Egyptian mummy was on board, though this is a fabrication. These facts showcase the immense scale of the Titanic tragedy, its cultural impact, and the legacy of the ship and its passengers.